You're going to start making the Mira top by sewing up the sides of the front and back mane. You'll press that seam allowance open. Then you'll repeat the same process with the front and back lining. You'll turn the mane right side out and lining wrong side out and sew them together along the front and the back necklines. As you sew the front neckline, make sure that you keep the 1/2 inch seam allowance coming all the way into the point. You'll use a pair of scissors to cut into the sweetheart shape without cutting into the stitch line. Repeat the same thing with the back neckline. You can use clear elastic in these seams to provide more support. Next, you'll understitch, or you can put both layers together and top stitch. I like understitching as I find it gives a nicer finish on the outside. So you'll press a seam allowance towards the lining side of your top and sew along the neckline. You can repeat the same process with the front neckline. If you used clear elastic in this seam, it will be sandwiched between the seam allowance and the lining, so you won't see the clear elastic from the outside. Next, we're going to hem the bottom. This is a little bit tricky, but stay with me. You're going to fold the bottom edge of the lining with the wrong sides touching about 2 inches up and place that cuff that you just made with right sides together towards the main bottom of the top. You'll just continue placing those right sides together all the way around. So eventually you'll go from side seam to side seam, and then you'll have to start reaching into the loop that you're creating and continue pulling out the main and the lining, keeping them with right sides together. This really makes sense as you're doing it, so you can sew and follow along and pause this and come back to it. But eventually you'll continue to pull that loop through itself until you make it back to your original pin. You kind of just got to trust the process here. So you'll sew along the bottom edge to attach the main to the lining using a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Just continue sewing from pin to pin, and you'll again kind of be doing the same process that you did to pin them together. It's just like pulling a little bit of the top out through that loop that was created. If you want to stabilize the seam, you can also attach clear elastic as you're sewing the main and the lining together. Just make sure that you're keeping the side seams aligned so that it doesn't get twisted or bunched up at all. You're sewing all the way around the bottom edge of the main and the lining, sandwiching them together. And it'll still be all looped up, but once you turn your top right side out from the underarm opening, you'll be able to see that it enclosed everything beautifully. Give it a good shake out and maybe iron along that bottom edge. If you're sewing the strap option, you're going to start by taking your strap and folding it in half with wrong sides touching and iron to create a center crease. You'll open the strap up and then fold the long raw edges in towards the center crease. My fabric did not iron well or keep its ironing, so I had to use clips. You'll fold the top raw edge in towards that center fold line that you previously created, and then you'll repeat for the bottom raw edge. This is essentially the same thing as making bias tape if you've ever done that before. You're going to iron to create more creases. And then you'll open up, so you'll have a first fold line, center fold line, and a third fold line. Next, take your strap and place the short ends together and sew to create a loop. A little fumbly with my clips. After you've created your loop, press that seam allowance open. Then you'll grab your top and place your strap seam on the inside, so the lining side of your top. That underarm seam and the strap seam will be aligned. So the right side of the strap to the right side of your top lining. Continue pinning up along the arm side to the front neckline and also to the back neckline. Now when you sew to attach the strap to the lining side, you're also obviously sewing it to the main as well, but you're going to sew along the first fold line that you previously created. So you're using that first fold line as your seam allowance. Next, you'll pull the strap away from your top so that now the top has the main side facing up. And you'll see that that original crease line that you sewed along is still intact. Then you'll fold the other raw edge along that fold line towards your top main, and then fold your strap on the center crease line. So you're kind of folding up your strap into thirds here. So the seam allowance previously created along the underarm will be enclosed, and then your strap will fold up with no raw edges showing either. Continue pinning along the strap, so folding on that center crease line. All the way around till you make it back to the underarm seam. Make sure the strap isn't twisted or there's no gaps along the strap there. Then you'll edge stitch just along the double folded edge to secure the strap. This will enclose all seam allowances and make the strap a really nice finish. I should have mentioned earlier, but if you want to use clear elastic, I would attach it with the lining seam, and then you'll do the main seam to have the clear elastic already in it. So you'll go ahead and repeat this for both straps, and then you are all done making your Mira top with the strap option. We do have videos for the sleeve option as well as the ruched front option, and also a video for the open back option, in case you're sewing those at a later time. If you're sewing the shelf bra or sports bra option, you're going to create a loop with the elastic. I use a wide zigzag stitch. You'll quarter your elastic and also the bottom edge of your sports bra or shelf bra. If you're sewing the sports bra option, you're going to find, well, I guess for both options, you'll find the quarter points of the bottom of your sports bra or shelf bra. You'll put the back center seam of your top or sports bra with the back center seam of your elastic and align the quarter points. If you're sewing the sports bra, you are pinning the bottom of your elastic to both the main and the lining layers. If you're sewing the shelf bra, you'll be pinning the elastic on the wrong side of your lining layer, so the wrong side of your shelf bra. So to attach, you'll stretch the fabric to fit the elastic, and then you'll turn the elastic inside, just like I'm doing here. So if you're sewing the sports bra, the main will show on the inside towards the lining side of your sports bra. If you're sewing the shelf bra option, the elastic will turn in towards the inside of your shelf bra, so the outside will have a nice clean finish, although it's the inside of your garment. I hope that makes sense. But clip the elastic around the bottom edge of your sports bra or shelf bra, and then again sew to attach here, or sew to hem it up, I guess. And you're going to stretch the fabric like you can see I do here to keep the